Hello and welcome to Design or Design. My name is Maria and today we're going to be talking about the accessory trends for fall winter 2022-2023. This is very exciting because accessories are very easy to introduce into your wardrobe. They are not super costly, even if you're going for those luxury items. They are kind of a way to upgrade sometimes your outfits if you really have a nice base of a wardrobe, to just spice things up maybe with a fresher chain or like more of a trendy earrings. There is no dramatic changes of what's trending and what is not, so it can be also more of a sustainable purchase because you will never grow out of your earrings, you know. Maybe your body might change, but your accessories will be able to last you a very long time. Unless it's rings. Like my wedding ring is making a dent in my finger. I should get it stretched maybe. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about both the female and male trends as they are colliding. More and more brands are making gender neutral. So apart from bags and shoes, which I already covered in the previous videos, I'm going to be talking maybe like from head down. I think this is my favorite way of going around it. So let's start with hats, and I'm going to stop jiggling with this bracelet, hopefully. Okay, let's get into it. With fall winter, most of the places around the world need some kind of head covering, where first thing that we're looking at are berets. I wouldn't say that they're really a warm kind of a hat, as majority of the head is not covered, like the ears and part of the back of the head, but it is a very nice accessory that I particularly love, and we see this in a few shows like Gucci, Raisa Vanessa, Zimmerman, and a few more. Not super duper popular, but it is there. The baseball hats. So many baseball hats. Here in Gucci, we have a double baseball hat where it's basically two baseball hats sewn together, so you have one at the back and one in the front. If you could wear it reversible, that's an interesting take, so you can just buy one and have two looks, but I don't know how comfortable that is. We do see a lot of baseball hats on the streets. It's kind of that streetwear style that went up to the runways, and I like it. I feel I prefer to have a baseball hat that it has a little bit form to it and not just super messy looking or fading because of the sun. We have a few baseball hats in off-white, and they are interesting, like going into super voluminous ones, but we'll talk about them a little bit later. We also seen a lot of baseball hats in Burberry show, with even having like an extra addition to it, as looking as if those are puffy headbands that are just on top of it, like a little halo effect. I quite like it. I don't know how far that's going to be. Balaclava hat that is actually might be stylish yet very warm. So we see a lot of these in Gucci. Kind of, I wouldn't really say all of them are super balaclava, but they kind of look like it. We also see these in Dion Lee and as well as in Dolce & Gabbana, but maybe having less to do with warmth and more to do with like crazy style, because they're kind of meshy, and mesh, you know, it's not super warmth inducing. Anyways, we also see some of these in Givenchy, even with a little bit of a cap action, as well as in Max Mara, having more of kind of the same sweater, and that I'm not sure if it's separate or it's the same, I have no idea. And also kind of a hooded thing in Alex. Okay, we see some of a more wider hat on the runways, which we haven't seen in a while. They kind of had a little break. They were super hot a few years back, but here we go. We see some of these at Gucci, Brox and Bonco, Zimmerman, as well as Rokas. Even Off-White had a nice brim, like huge brim hat, and I'm here for it. I'm a hat person myself, so I'm gonna be definitely keep wearing my hats. And you guys, trends are something that you don't have to follow. If something is not on the runways, it's okay. If you love it, wear it. Be more sustainable when it comes to your own clothes. Okay, and we have bigger kind of beanies, like very voluminous, bigger hats. Looks like a gnome, but it's okay. Speaking of the volume, we do see a lot of very large hats, like in off-white. I just said that we're going to be talking about them still. The huge baseball caps like crazy, maybe the bucket bags also in a more exaggerated huge size. I have no idea if they're going to be going into the mainstream or even selling them, but they're pretty funky themselves. And the volume can be created in different ways, and one of them is furriness. Lots of furry hats. And here I thought that a furry bucket hat was a fab. I guess I was wrong. I don't know anymore, you guys. So we see a lot of furry hats, like very puffy hats in so many shows like Gucci, Ambush. We also like very large brim hats in Dolce Gabbana. Versace had those bucket hats in a fuzzy material. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so let's talk about sunglasses. Going a little bit lower on the face. I don't know how many places actually require sunglasses for their fall, winter, unless you're maybe living in Africa or the equator or Australia. But here we are. I guess hiding from the snow also helps out, you know, if it's super snowy area, if it's wet all the time, like in Vancouver, then sunglasses aren't the best. It's really dark then. So we have a lot of different sizes and a lot of different shapes. Basically, when you're looking for sunglasses, think about your structure of a face. Don't really go for the super trendy ones. You can try those out if you'd like, and if it suits you, then sure, why not? You can buy them. But before you go and spend hundreds of dollars on new trendy sunglasses, try them out in store and see how they are. Like for my complexion, I cannot wear a huge oversized sunglasses because whenever I smile, my cheeks actually lift the sunglasses and it looks very foolish. But we have sunglasses on a smaller scale, like maybe the Y2K kind of a style of just little glasses with little metallic rims. We have a lot of very sporty sunglasses like in Dior as well as Balenciaga and a few more shows. We also have medium-sized sunglasses, like kind of a very classical version of that. We have even a sunglasses with a visor from Burberry, and we have some micro sunglasses like we've seen in Dolce Gabbana men's show. But the most popular sunglasses that I came across were very kind of linear wide glasses, so they are kind of on a medium side but quite wide. Here you can see them in Dolce Gabbana as well as Celine, in Off-White, Dior, Rock, and so many more shows. We also see quite a lot of sunglasses having like a tinted glass, like maybe in yellow or in blue, like in Lanvin and in Gucci. Dolce Gabbana even had some really interesting sunglasses, having kind of asymmetric sunglasses, which is something that I didn't really think that would exist. So basically they look like they were made up of two completely different separate sunglasses and kind of glued into one, and that is something interesting. But we also kind of seen that in the earring department beforehand, so maybe it actually works out. I don't know if this was only for the show or maybe they are actually going to have these for sale, but I guess we shall see and find out. If you're enjoying this content so far and like to support me in making more of these videos, like this video, and if you're not already, subscribe. Please subscribe. That's it, no more rambling. Thank you if you're already subscribed. So continuing to earrings, just as the asymmetric look from Dolce Gabbana, we do see a lot of asymmetry on runways, still having either just one earring on one ear or having completely different earrings. Like in Fendi, we see models wearing the F on one ear for Fendi, of course, not for anything else, and we see more of like a little key on the ear or something. Well, I think most most of them are keys. We also see maybe like different lengths of earrings, and sometimes it could be an accident on a runway where just one earring fell off. It does happen. If you're more of a fan of having like symmetrical earring looks, then you should go for something a little bit more extra, a little bit more with a flair, maybe something bigger, brighter, and yes, yes, we see a lot of hooped earrings as well, and a few shows had earrings in kind of a V-shaped or a inverted triangle shape on the ears. We see that in Gucci and a few more other shows. We still see a lot of like clip earrings having like a button, like really statement though, like really big ones. And it is still on my to buy list because they are super classical and I feel like that they would last you a very long time. We have some more dramatic earrings from Dolce & Gabbana, kind of covering the entire ear, and some really large droplets of pearls, as well as we have some drops in Lanvin and some chain-like earrings from Stella McCartney. There has also been more attention to crystals, whether they're really big and just huge, enormous crystals, or maybe there are something tinier, something shiny on the ears for sure. All right, let's move on into necklaces. The thing that I've noticed about necklaces is that they are quite closer to the neck. So they're not super long necklaces. They are on a shorter side, maybe chains, maybe a few layered chains, but still very close to it. And when you're thinking about a necklace, think about the neckline of the garment you're wearing, because that would actually suggestion of what you should go for. We also see a lot of chokers on the runways, like in Ambush. We also see this in Balenciaga, in Balmain, in Diesel, as well as Dolce & Gabbana, and especially in men's shows, we had so many chokers there, kind of in a material format as well as more of a chain format. Brox and Bongo also had it. We also have some kind of a necklace. I wouldn't even say like a necklace, more of a body chain thing. Fendi also having more of a delicate chains closer to the neck. And we have some even more bulkier choker type necklaces from Givenchy, either having super large pearls. We also see more of a shorter necklaces in Versace having just around the neck and maybe just one more layered just beneath it. Again, some with the pearls, so we're seeing that consistency right here, of which we also seen in Dolce & Gabbana show. Chanel has a lot of layered necklaces, and now in Chanel we see them going a little bit longer, kind of that classic Chanel silhouette with the pearls maybe, or it's layered with different kind of chains. Ulla Johnson having variety of lengths, some smaller, some longer, some layered together. Furry also having more of a choker. We also see kind of very playful, colorful accessories in Louis Vuitton, and Miu Miu having kind of almost childlike accessories, very bright. We also see, once again, chokers in the variety of sizes and such. And chains are still with us, as I mentioned before, kind of on variety of scales, either bigger ones or smaller ones. And as you can see, once again, everything is very, very close to the neck. And as far as we're still talking about necks, we do see some scarves, but basically not too many at all. We see some of them furry, like in Michael Kors. Acne Studios kind of having a weird turtleneck thing with necklaces. And thinking back, like, wouldn't shows from New York Fashion Week be a little bit more conscious about the coldness of fall winter and give us a little bit more to go with? But here we are. Okay, let's talk about ties. We've seen a few ties, kind of more of a business accessories. We see some kind of a leather ones from Gucci, or maybe even kind of a metallic one, more of an actual accessory from Gucci. Louis Vuitton had a lot of ties that were floral print, and that would be the accent of the outfit, of having a tie that is bright in color or in print. We also see decorated collars. Either they are like actually on the shirt, but probably they're more of an accessories. We see these in Dior. We also see actual just detached colors in Christian Siriano, as well as more of a business-like attire in Rock. Okay, so let's continue to belts. Belts are there. They're super different in sizes and materials, but usually we do have quite a thicker one around the waistline, and some even worn as skirts, like we see here in Diesel. Basically, if you're thinking about a belt, think about your body shape. If you are an hourglass shape, or you're trying to create that accent on your waistline, maybe by adding volume to a different spot to kind of even it out, then on a waistline is the way to go. If you're trying to accent your hips, then maybe go for like a little chain that is hanging off of your hips, a lot like the Y2K trends that are happening at the moment. Like here in Versace, you can see that the pants are a little bit on a lower rise, and there is a chain there, or maybe there is just a decorative belt on the hips themselves. That adds extra tension, extra volume to that part of your body, and it can accentuate it, making it look a little bit bigger than it is. So if you're thinking that, oh no, I don't need more attention to my hips, they're big enough on their own, then don't worry, just maybe wear that belt on the waistline, and it would highlight the thinness of your waist instead of pulling the attention to your lower section. Once again, here in Miu Miu, we also see those belts being on the lower section, even like doubling on belts, having stacked belts there too. And we see a lot of really long belts that are kind of hanging off and almost touching the ground, like in Acne Studios. Stella McCartney also having on a longer side belts, and a few more shows. We also see more like a corset style of a belt, like in Dior. We also see this in Christian Siriano, and some stacked belts in Rock. So let's move on to bracelets. When I took a look at bracelets, I've noticed a lot of bracelets being kind of symmetrical, as in both hands would have the same bracelets, or maybe if they're not quite the same, they like both hands would have it. If not both, then maybe a very dramatic bracelet on one hand, not too many kind of super chunky plastic ones, more from metallic. We have lots of stacked bracelets in Chanel, and once again having both hands and bracelets, maybe not identical, maybe kind of stacked but in different stackable bracelets, maybe the same, maybe they're just trying to sell more bracelets, I don't know. Bracelets that I feel that would be a very safe bet would be just a chain bracelet, and I feel like chains are very neutral and they would be able to last you a lifetime. We have some very chunky ones in Roca's. We also see a lot of stacked bracelets in Yves Saint Laurent, having 5 or 6 on each hand. That can be pretty heavy and really difficult to write in. Having more of a very simple classical looks and having those bracelets as accent points on there. Once again, Louis Vuitton had those more of a childish, interesting, out-of-the-box bracelets, as well as off-white. We also seen a few shows having kind of a nice set of earring and necklace and bracelets all matching. This takes me back to all of my grandma's jewelry, that everything is matching. Sure, go for a scavenger hunt in your grandmother's jewelry box. Pretty sure if you ask nicely and spend a little bit of time with her, she'll be able to lend you some or maybe gift it to you. All right, let's talk about a brooch. Another thing that you can find at your grandma's. Brooch is something that isn't widely used. I really like the idea of having some like branded brooches, so it looks as if like the outfit that you're wearing is from there, but it's just the brooch. It kind of uplifts your outfit. What I've seen on runways was not very much of a branded material, but it's pretty cool anyways. I quite like brooches. The only thing is I'm sometimes scared of ruining the material itself by using your brooch and kind of poking holes, but that is completely up to you. All right, gloves, something that some of us still need during the fall winter. We have gloves in Gucci. Balenciaga kind of having a dress that goes into a glove might be not super usable, as some of the phones just don't accept you touching them in gloves and you have to take them off all the time. Maybe they have one of those fingers that kind of open up or something. Yeah, but anyways, we also see gloves in more of a sporty kind of motorcycle sports from Balmain, even having them more like a metallic plates in there. We also have very sparkly gloves in Dolce & Gabbana in both men's and women's show. We also have lots of dresses that comes with like very tall gloves, as if you're going to the opera or something. Givenchy also having like a second layer that continues into the glove. We have very tall gloves in Valentino as well as in Jill Sander. Versace had more like a latexy, different colored gloves, and I love when that shine is there. I feel it's very sexy, and it could be considered a fetish, kind of a trend. On the other hand, we have Max Mara having more of like fuzzy, very tall gloves that don't particularly say sexy to me at all. Okay, once again, more of an opera glove from Moschino. We also see some very bright gloves from Rick Owens. It looks like they're going to go and wash the dishes. Acne Studios having more of a street style with their gloves. We also see some sporty gloves again in a Dior show, kind of looking like a motorcycle glove in different colors. Bottega Veneta having more of a sparkly, longer type glove as well. This takes us into rings, you guys. So rings were a little bit more difficult to capture, as not every show was accenting on little accessories, but we do see a lot of kind of not stacked, but like every finger on a hand has a ring kind of a style, even some of them more chunkier side, like on Alexander McQueen or in Balmain, having once again a lot of fingers on the same hand in rings. We also have more of a bigger rings on Givenchy show, sometimes having once again all four fingers involved. We also see Versace with kind of a pearly rings on there on top of gloves, and we also see some other shows where they do have gloves and rings. I guess you could do that if you have some rings that are too big for you and they kind of fall off, but if you're wearing gloves, you know, that will work out very well. We see Yves Saint Laurent also having very large rings paired with those crazy big bracelets as well, and sometimes on their own. And like in Zimmerman right here, it doesn't mean that you can just wear one ring on one hand. That's okay too, you guys. So here we have got two kind of facial piercings or facial accessories. Facial accessories are not something that was very used in high fashion. This is more of a kind of a younger generation, TikTok generation kind of a trend. But we do see more and more of like maybe lip rings or nose rings on the runways, even just random piercings like in Givenchy. Maybe they're not piercing, maybe they're just glued on, but it does seem to be more normalizing the idea of facial accessories like this. Burberry has kind of a mask type thing that is so gorgeous. I would love to wear it. And let's move on into kind of the maybe headband. Lanvin had a veil type of a headband in a few different colors and styles. We also see a headband in rock. We see more like a crown in Dior, like very sparkly ones, as well as in Zimmerman. Jill Sanders having like kind of a little hat but made of beads, Chanel having little clips in here, Givenchy having some more hair accessories, Fendi also having little bobby pins, and yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, you guys. So now that we watched all the trending accessories, which one is your favorite? What accessory can you not leave the house without? And yes, thank you very much for watching. Looking forward to reading your comments down below and maybe answering some questions if you have any. I noticed that some of you have reached out to me via Instagram, and I always love to hear from you there too. If you're wondering about more accessory trends or maybe fashion trends in general, they're going to be listed all down below in the description box. Thank you for watching all the way here. I really appreciate it. Stay classy. Bye.